Okay, first we're going to talk about a Japanese stab binding. This is not exactly a traditional stab binding, but it's pretty close. The difference between a stab bound book and a Coptic stitch book is that a stab bound book does not lay flat. You kind of have to open it and flip through and kind of find what you're looking for. So what you need first is a stack of papers that you want to be the pages of your book. You will then need to measure out a template. And what I've done for this is I measured out an inch from each corner and then 2 inches from those dots. And then I went 1/2 inch up and placed my dots at the intersection. So those dots are where I want to use my awl and punch holes. Now I like to, when I have gotten my holes, I like to take my awl and kind of just like drill into the paper a little bit to kind of stretch the holes a little bit. It just makes the sewing so much easier and go more smoothly. And I've also found that it does not really affect, as long as you don't get out of hand, it doesn't really affect like the movement of the paper once the book is bound. So we have our template and then we have our pages. So we'll take the template and place it on top of the pages. We want to make sure it is as tidy as it can be. It needs to be as far down as it can go, and you need to measure it against the edge. Do not let it go at this point. You want to keep everything snug and tidy because you're going to use this template to punch holes. I would not do more than 4 pieces of paper at a time, depending on the thickness of the paper. This is a pretty thick paper, so I think I only have 3. It's a watercolor paper. So you're gonna use the awl, and still I'm not letting go. I'm punching holes through the whole thing before I stretch the holes out in this group of pages. Okay, I'm gonna lift my template and stretch my pages. And then we will add this to the stack that I have already completed. And put them all together. And again, we're just gonna make sure everything is lined up. You should be able, you're not gonna be able to see all the way through, but you should be able to see a hint of daylight through the holes. If you don't, just kind of use your awl to like search out how that goes, and just make sure that you can use these holes to find the other side. And that is how we will have our Japanese stab pages.